welcome to another episode of the Career and Growth series brought to you by Yaka. On today's episode, we have a very amazing person, and I would like her to do the honors of introducing herself. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
It's my pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you on our show.
And it's my pleasure to be here. Let me introduce myself. So my name is Jemimah Amonahini. I am a screenwriter and a film producer, and I am so glad to be here.
It's giving celebrity. But yeah, let me not toot you on too much. All right. So can you tell us about a little bit about your journey? How the journey from teenagehood up until now? How did you become the screenwriter that you are today?
It's a very long story, but let's keep it short. So, growing up, I know I have always loved to tell stories, and I think that was majorly influenced by my parents. The way we had fun in my house was telling stories. So we used to tell each other stories, and we read a lot of books. My dad bought us a lot of books, so I loved stories growing up. And at some point, I started to do it as a hobby. So I'll write stories and exercise books, and I'll give it to my friends to read, and then on and on. So writing was just that hobby for me that I really enjoyed. But I also loved mathematics a lot. So I was like, let me just go to science class. So I became a science student, and I went on to school to study a science course. So but after I graduated, a lot of things happened. I didn't get a job, and my friend just reminded me, like, Jemimah, you've always been a great writer. Why don't you make this a job? And I'm like, writing has always been a hobby for me. Why am I making it a job? And then she just pretty much exposed me to, there's content writing, there's script writing, there's a lot. I'm like, okay. So I took a few courses, and I went to film school. I went to 2 film schools, actually. And then that was how my journey really literally started.
Interesting. So let's backtrack a little bit. You mentioned that there was a time that you now realized that writing can be a thing.
Yeah.
And this was after you now realized that, I actually love to write.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about that? How did you feel when you found out that you were in love with storytelling and the steps that you took, basically?
Okay, so when I told my story earlier, I did say that a friend told me that this was a big deal. But what I didn't say was that when she told me, I was like, okay, let me just take a few courses and see where it takes me, right? But something actually happened. So back then, I used to post stories on my WhatsApp status. People that follow me, they know. It's now that it's a big deal where people post stories on Instagram and even Twitter and stuff. But back then, it was WhatsApp status.
Yeah.
So that was what I was doing. So while I was, doing that, a friend of mine, I don't know if to call him a friend, but an acquaintance, used to take my stories and post on a blog. And that blog was paying him in dollars. And I had no idea. So one particular day, I had posted the story, but I didn't finish it. So he came into my DM and he was like, where's the end of the story? That he just posted the story and he just earned $21. So he needs to post the other parts so that he can earn more.
And he wasn't giving you anything.
He wasn't giving me anything. He didn't even tell me. He wouldn't have even told me if not that I hadn't posted the last part. So I was, I actually wasn't angry. I was more amused. I'm like, my story, you know when you see something that you feel is just nothing, and then someone lets you know that this is actually a big deal. So that sort of woke something up in me, like, this thing, you're actually sleeping on this talent. If somebody can make money off it, not even in naira and dollars, then maybe you should actually take it serious. And I think that was what really woke me up. And I'm like, beyond just taking these courses, I want to work as a writer. I want to work. And got so good that period. That was when I met Laji Iren, and then I applied to be a contract writer for her. And I think my career just basically had that, should I say, it was a springboard for me onward from then on, yeah.
Imagine. So there's basically some skills or some talents that you have that you've been sleeping on. My dear people, it's time to wake that lion up. All right, moving on to the next question. Yeah. So still on your role as a screenwriter and also a movie producer, we know that you have worked with a lot of big names in the industry.
It's the way you're saying it.
We are sitting with a superstar, guys, in case you do not know. We know you've worked with a lot of big names in the industry. So can you tell us, what you've learned about the industry through them and through your experience?
I have learned a whole lot. And I think I keep on learning new things every time, every day. Each project teaches you something new, right? I'll start from the very first person, right? And I'll mention her because Pasalaji is, I just like she's like my mother. She's like my filmmaking mother. She's a lot more to me, but she's my filmmaking mother, right? And the major thing I have learned from her is excellence, right? Which is something I think a lot of people do not take seriously, right? Excellence is very important. Beyond the fact that you're doing a job to get paid, you need to understand that if your work does not have the signature of excellence, it would possibly, or there's no possibility of you embracing the possibilities that come with that work. So what I'm saying in essence is this: you need to be so good at your work that when people see your work, they identify it with you. They know that the reason why this work was so well done was because Jemimah was on it. So it sort of sets a high standard for you, but it also makes you realize that you cannot go lesser than this. And that has helped me a lot. Another thing I think I have learned is to not give up. I think being a filmmaker, being a writer has taught me to be very resilient, because no matter how much you plan, no matter how much you prepare, no matter how much you research, sometimes some things do not go according to plan.
Yeah.
So you need to be dogged, you need to be resilient. You will learn that even if something is not working, I have to make it work. It is my duty to make it work, because if it doesn't work, money is going to go down the drain. People are not going to get paid. This job will not get to the audience that it deserves to get to. And stories are so powerful. They are so powerful. I think being a full-fledged screenwriter now has taught me how powerful stories are. I like to say that on a normal day, if I say I want to talk to married people now, that, oh, I want to talk to married people, the first thing they'll ask me is, you're not married. Why are you advising us? But I can take that lesson and put it in a story and write it as a film. And married people will watch that film and they will learn that lesson. Much more than that, I won't be talking to just one couple. I'll be talking to hundreds of thousands of couples. In many cases, I talk to millions of people, because many times our shows get watched by millions of people. So stories are so powerful, and I think that it's such a privilege to be a storyteller, right? I feel like it's a big deal. So, but I also understand that if you do not have the excellence, the diligence, the doggedness, the resilience to tell those stories, I feel like it doesn't get to where you want it to get to. At the end of the day, the purpose of that story is not achieved. Yeah.
That was a lot to unpack, to be honest, and I feel like I learned so much from that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Too.
So can you tell us what the process of turning a story? I mean, you told us you're a screenwriter, and we also know that you're a movie producer. So what is the process of turning a story into, like, executing that story and making it into a movie? What's the process like?
Amazing. I like this question. So, I mean, it basically has 3 phases. We have 4, actually: pre-production, production, post-production, and then distribution. So pre-production is where everything starts. The story idea. What's the idea? We ideate. What story are we trying to tell? Who are we trying to tell the story to? What is the vision we're trying to bring to life? So that's all pre-production. So we write the story, we talk about the story, and then the story gets written. The story is developed, and then it gets written as a screenplay or a script, as we would like to say. So the next thing is to go to production. So production is basically, you're on a movie set. There's director, the whole crew, anyway, director, the producer, everybody's on set, hands on deck, boots on ground, just to make sure that that story becomes a film, right? So after all of that is done, we move to post-production. So post-production is now the editing, basically cutting the story, making the film into what can be distributed, right? And after post-production is done, we now go to distribution. So distribution is, where is the film going to be put on? Is it going to be on YouTube? Is it going to festivals? Is it going to cinema? Is it going to streaming platforms?
Yeah.
Is it going to airlines? So these are the phases the stories go through.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that process. If your life was going to be a movie, what would you call it? And why?
Oh God. What would I call it? That's a very beautiful. I think I'd call it metamorphosis.
Uh-uh.
Yes.
Even butterfly.
Yeah. And the reason is because I have every single time I'm evolving, like I'm evolving. When I started my writer's journey, I was writing drama, and then at some point I was writing rom-com, and then last year I told myself that I was going to start writing TV shows. I have a TV show coming out this month on 30th on African Magic. Yeah.
Yay. It's
So
giving doings, guys.
yeah, so I mean, and from TV shows, I mean, they're doing vertical dramas now. So I just like to jump on the next best thing, not because I don't know where I'm going, but because I feel like there's a lot of possibilities, and I don't want to stay stuck just because, oh, I see. When people ask me, what's your genre to write? I'm like, before I tell them, oh, I'm a rom-com queen, oh, I'm a drama queen, but I'm like, no, who says I can't write another genre? Who says I can't explore other things?
Yeah.
So why do I want to box myself into? I mean, for if that's your thing, there's nothing wrong with it. But for me, I like to evolve. I like to grow. I like to learn new things. You know, I was even saying it recently that when I was growing up, I watched a lot of films in indigenous languages, and I'm like, these days it's not so common. Who says we cannot do contemporary stories that are brilliant in our indigenous languages? And I don't just mean Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. So we have a lot of languages even in
Nigeria
Nigeria,
alone.
yes, that we've not even talked about. We've not even done films. Who says we cannot do films in these languages, right? So I think, yeah, it would be metamorphosis for me, and I really love the journey of my life. I love that every time I get to evolve as much as I want to. So it's beautiful for me.
Amazing. Don't put yourself in a box, guys. So moving on to the next question. With respect to growth and development, what are the key moments that have shaped you to become the Jemimah that you are now?
Respect to growth and development.
Yes.
So, I mean, I could share a good number of things, but I think the first thing I'd say are my convictions, which my faith is a major part of, because I understand that as much as I want to do all the things I want to do, I feel like it's important that you have an anchor for your soul so that you don't get swamped in all of these things that come at you. There are days when, you know, even as a writer, there are days when you don't feel like you know anything. You know, despite your so-called, I mean, I've gotten multiple nominations. I've gotten about 2 or 3 international awards, and I could bask in that. But there are days when none of those things even make any sense. It just feels like, what am I doing? Am I even supposed to be here? There's imposter syndrome, there's creative block, there's a lot of things. So, but I remember that my life is not about what I do. It's majorly, firstly, about whose I am, right? So that's where my faith comes, and that's where my conviction comes in, because I realize that my life doesn't have to consist in what I possess.
Yeah.
You know, it's about, you know, the innate person on my inside. That's God for me, right? And also, I would say that my family, right? My family means a lot to me. They've helped me grow, and I think I'm grateful for the kind of parents that raised me. We were raised with great values, right? Growing up, my parents will always tell me, "Oh, this is." Funnily, I think it was when I, you know, became a full-fledged adult, I realized that I actually had great parents along
Parents,
with
yeah.
me. When I started hearing people talk about
Stories.
their trauma, I'm like, "Oh my God!"
I don't know. I can't relate to
cannot
that.
relate. So yeah, I'm grateful that I have, and every single time like I told you, I've had I did I was a science student. Every time I come to my parents and I tell them I want to do this, they don't say, "Oh, you can't do it." They say, "Okay, you can. How can I support you?" And I don't think, I mean, Daddy and Mom, if you're watching this, it means a whole lot to me. That every single time I tell you I want to do something new, you always support me. Always, always support me. It means a whole lot to me.
Shout out to you, Mommy and Daddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And apart from my family, I'd also say great friendship. Yeah, great friendship. People said that when I was coming to this industry, people said this industry was so toxic. And to be honest, I was scared. But I've met super great people in the same industry, people that want to teach you. I'm not saying that it's everybody, but you would find your kin, you'd find your tribe members here. and that friendship, that support, that loyalty, I think it's been very influential. And also say that the fact that I have a heart that wants to learn. Like I say, I believe that there are lots of possibilities. And I don't think it would be fair that, when I'm old and gray by the grace of God, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I did this when I was 22. Or I wish I did this when I was 32. I don't want that to be my life.
Yeah.
I want to say that, yeah, when I had the time, I did it. When I had the strength, I did it. Because let's be honest, no matter how much you say, oh, the same time you wake up is your morning. The truth is, there's some things you cannot do when you're 65. Some things you cannot do when you're 50. So why don't you do them now? Why are you stalling? Why are you waiting? Because so long what you're doing is important to your vision.
Yeah.
Just do it. You might fail while trying.
Yeah.
You might make mistakes, but at least you know that you did
tried.
it. I think I read a book where the guy said that when we're all old and gray, we would regret the things that we did not do more than the things that we did do. So I'm always like, I'd rather do that thing and fail at it than not do it at all and then later wish that I did it. So I think those are the things that are quite important to me.
Amazing. Okay, so I know in everything that you just said, you mentioned something about your willingness to always want to learn, and you've always said it, that's one of your biggest powers is teachability.
True.
So can you tell us how that has influenced your journey?
Yeah. I think I want to share that because, I mean, for anybody listening to me right now, I would say that this openness, this growth mindset, I think is something that we need to like take a little bit more seriously, right? I feel like many times we box ourselves, maybe because of our past successes. Sometimes it's not even the fear of moving forward, it's because of your past successes. I graduated a first class. I'm a first class graduate of biological science. I could have said, oh, let me stick to this, let me hold my first class in front of me and not allow anything to steal this thing away from me. But I realized that if I do that, I'm just going to be carrying this certificates on my head, but I would not use it to achieve anything. Right? So, but I also, looked at it that if this skill is learnable, let me learn it. If this thing can be taught, I want to learn it. I'm registering for a class. I mean, I thought I started writing TV shows last year, but I'm taking another class in TV writing next month. Why? I could just do Google. But I'm like, no, let me learn this thing. And it's been a big deal because when people even see how eager you are to learn, they are more likely to bring you into their circle. I've seen people that say, oh, the reason Jemimah knows is because she has connection. I don't have connection. I don't have any connection. I just love learning. Whenever I get to your space, when people are like, oh, I want to collect so and so celebrity's number. No, I'm not saying it's bad, but that's not what I'm looking for. Half the time I'm like, what can I do to get into their space? And many times they need something that I already have. So I'm going to like use the fact that I'm open to learning to get into that space. And when they say that, okay, this person is willing to do this job for me, they are willing to. And in the process of me doing the job for them, they're also teaching me something that they know. So it's been my hack for like the longest time. And many times it's not even because I'm even looking for a benefit from them. It's just because I want to grow. I ventured into, I mean, this feels like I'm a jack or a Jill of all trades, but I just feel it, in the spirit of trying to learn, I ventured into film PR at some point in my life. I think about last year or 2 years ago, I ventured into film PR. And why I did was I wanted to learn. I've taken acting courses. I'm not an actor, but I've wanted to learn. I wanted to know what it feels like to be an actor. And I would, if I'm being honest, just learning, being in that class where we're being taught how to be actors, I could visualize, oh, so this is how an actor feels when they read my script. So I could put myself in their shoes. Even becoming a film producer, it was because I wanted to learn. I was already a writer. I was already doing well as a writer. I'm like, okay, let me even learn. And I saw that, oh, production is a strength for me. So, and that was how I got there. Film PR to the same thing. I just wanted to learn. And then somehow I realized that this is something that I'd be good at. And I started to do it. So it's not my full-time job, but I have an idea. And if I get into a room where that is the one thing that they are discussing or that will qualify me for a benefit, I would not stutter. I know about film distribution. I know about acting. There is hardly any aspect of film right now. Even artificial intelligence. I started learning about AI filmmaking recently. I mean, I'm still a writer, I'm still a movie, but I'm like, okay, let me learn about this thing. What is it? Where can it take us to? What is the advantage? So I'm learning about it as well. I was just talking to someone, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I was telling them that AI music is a thing now. I want to learn about it. I want to know what it is. Because probably in the next couple of years, we will not be doing music scores with people's voices. We're using AI. So I don't want to be stranded. I don't want to say, when they say what's AI music, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I want to know what that is. I don't want to be the the ignorant person,
Yeah.
when these topics are being discussed. And I really feel like if you want to be in an industry, know whatever it is to be known about that industry. Find out. And the good thing is that if you just ask someone, they probably will tell you. The reason why you don't know is because you've not asked.
Yeah.
So actually ask about these things. If you don't know stuff, ask. If the first person tells you no, ask another person. Go online, go to conferences, go to events, actually find out this stuff, and you definitely learn.
Wow, that was really a lot. But let me take you guys' mind back to everything that she has just said. She talked about the fact that teachability would help you grow as a person, as an individual. But apart from that, it will also expose you to things. Like you get more exposure because you are willing to be taught, right? And you also talked about the fact that AI cannot steal your job if you are a teachable person. If you're a person who is always evolving, who is always learning, you're not going to be that person that are going to lay off when AI comes into the conversation, okay? Because you already know how to handle AI. And to be honest, I don't think AI is going to steal your job if you know how to handle AI.
Exactly.
At a point, they'll still need someone who is going to be able to, teach AI and also handle those AI. So
True.
AI cannot steal your job if you're, to be honest, if you're going to be teachable.
AI was built by humans, I
The
mean.
end. All right. So have there been moments when things did not go as planned, and were you able to navigate those times?
Yes. To answer the question, first of all, yes. Where do I start from? So I think I should just give a scenario, right? So first of all, when I started writing, I went to film school, like I said, and after film school, both my film schools were scholarships. Yeah. So after film school, I got into another program. It was Lagos State sponsored. So when we were done, I also got an award. My film was best film in my film school. It was an award. So I also got an alumnus one. Like, when you feel like, oh my God, everything is just
Doing things.
aligning, is going. And then immediately we got the alumni fund. It was as if we just hit a brick wall. Like everything just suddenly paused. The funds that we received, there was an issue with it. So we wanted to do a particular project. They said we should do something else. So there was a lot of back and forth. Then at that point also, I just felt like, okay, I wanted to become a full-fledged filmmaker. So I left my 9 to 5. So I was thinking that, best film, best screenwriter. But after we got the fund, challenges, different things started to go wrong. And at this point, I had resigned from my 9 to 5. So I didn't have a job. I didn't have money. And as per, best students, I felt like the jobs are just going to be coming to me back to
Yeah.
back, back to back. And no job was forthcoming. Everybody that had made promises to me that, oh, don't worry, once you finish film school, in film school, you meet a lot of people, you meet producers, directors, and everybody, get your contact. Don't worry, I'll work with you. Don't worry, we will work together. So I was expecting, all of that. But
Nothing.
nothing. It was just like, it was dry. Like we say, it was dry. And I'm like, I told my parents that this is what I want to do next. I cannot afford to mess this up. They believed in me to allow me to do it. So what would I do next? So it was crazy, right? But like I said, as you have to learn to be resilient. So I'm like, this thing has to work.
Amazing. All right, moving on. We know that you like to talk to young people a lot, and you always say this thing, education no be scam.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what that means to you?
Yeah. So the reason I like to say education will be scam is because education is not just what happens in the traditional classroom. There's financial literacy. There's, basically different forms of literacy. None, all of them aren't coming to my head right now, but I understand that a person that is well schooled,
Yeah.
they are more likely to have the exposure that they need. right? And I mean, for me, I started as a science student, but I am currently in art as a media person, a film person, because I went to school. I
Yeah.
went to film school. So when you're in school, don't be shabby about it.
Yeah.
I do not. Someone once asked me, "Do I regret going to school to study science?" And I'm like, no. If there's anything being a science student has taught me, it's to be a very analytical person. And it shows in even my writing. I'm a very analytical person. I think like a science student. Even when I'm doing my filmmaking, beyond the film itself, I have a scientist brain, the brain of a scientist. So it shows in my work. So when you're educated, don't say, oh, because I want to act, I don't need to let me just go to film school. When you have the actual opportunity to go and get a degree if you can. Do your master's if you can. It doesn't even have to be in that field.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a way education constantly resharpens your brain, gives you that cutting edge advantage in any field that you find yourself. So please, if you're listening to me and you don't want to go to school, you're in school, you're not serious, please, please take your school seriously. It's very important. It will do you great good.
Amazing. All right. So for those who are passionate about storytelling, or any part of the film industry, what are the actionable steps they can take from teenagehood? Because we know that most of our viewers are between the age of 15 to 25. They're really young people, right? So what are the steps that they can take from that time?
Great question. So I'd say that the first thing is it starts from your heart. It starts from what you believe. Do you believe that what you want to do is possible? Right. So you first have to believe that what you want to do is possible. Then secondly, you need to be willing to give it your best shot. Because it's not easy. It feels like, oh, it's not just right. It's not just act. Let me just put camera in front of me. Let me just do something. No, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So you need to be willing to give it your best shot. You need to go to school. If you can, I'd advise you to, maybe study theater arts or mass communication, something related to film or
Yeah.
storytelling. If you can actually study that. But if you're already in a field that is not related to that, on the side, start taking courses. Don't be like me that waited till I was done before I started taking courses, going to film school. And I mean, we're in an age where you can even school online. So take online courses, then be in the right spaces. Go to communities. We have online communities. We have physical communities. If there's a film festival happening around you, go there. Go and watch the films. Have conversations with people. Ask questions, right? And when you're, really, really ready, and before I even say that, I think you should also intern with someone, like attach yourself to someone that can be like a mentor. Whenever people say, oh, someone is my mentor, many times I think people don't even know what that means. Your mentor is not someone that you just, that will be telling you what to do. Your mentor is someone that already models the vision of the future self that you already see. So when you are with them, you are learning, you're watching, you're gaining experience, and you should also be hands-on. Don't just be benefit conscious that, oh, I want to get this from them. Funnily, you might not even benefit directly from your mentor. It might just be that you just needed to see how they get their job done. It could even be their own community that would help you. So when you are with your mentor, stay in that space because you're more likely to become what you constantly see.
Yeah.
So make that person your vision board, and practice as much as possible. Volunteer. When you're on holidays, for those that are already in school, when you're on holidays, volunteer. Most of the time, many times, these guys are looking for volunteers. When they want to do something, in fact, if they don't even announce it, go to their DM. Oh, I see that you want to do this festival, you want to do this event. Can I volunteer for you? I can't tell you how much this volunteering has helped me. Some of the opportunities I've gotten today, I started off as a volunteer.
Yeah.
And then from then they're like, you actually, then when you're volunteering, you're like, okay, who are you? What do you even do? What are you up to? And they're like, oh, I write. Oh, you write? I've been looking for, this friend is looking for a writer. Oh, let me recommend you to so and so person. And then you get on. Or what do you even want to do? Oh, I want to be a producer. And I have a project coming up. Oh, I think you should be on that project. But when you sit down in your house, you sit down in your house, you're waiting for the opportunity to come and meet you at home. It doesn't work like that. So be out there. And when you're out there, be bold and confident about what you want. Don't go there and start saying, oh, I'm an aspiring. Tell yourself, I'm a storyteller. I don't tell people, oh, I'm not aspiring anything. No. Why am I aspiring? I mean, even before I like started having really great gigs. You ask me what I am, I'll tell you I'm a screenwriter. It didn't matter that I didn't have any credit to my name as of then. But I say I'm a screenwriter. It's just like when you go to school. When they say what are you, say I'm a student. You don't say I'm an aspiring student. You're already in the process of learning it.
Yeah.
So just call yourself that thing that you are and start small. Start from where you are. If you want to, you want to do videography, start with your phone. Take pictures. I have a friend that when he started videography, he would just carry his phone to the market and be taking videos of fish, orange, tomato. She was just playing around with stuff because he didn't even have the facilities to shoot a full-fledged film. But I mean, over time, it got better and he had the opportunity to now work on an actual film project. So, but when you come, even when you meet this, you go and meet Auntie Jadi or Auntie Funke, say, oh, I'm your producer. They will ask you, what have you worked on? And they don't necessarily mean the big project. They want to even see what effort have you made. And sometimes you're like, to make this project, I need money. That money you think you need, you have it. When I shot my first short film, the money I used to shoot that film, I collected it from my friends. I told everybody, I said, I'm done with film school. I want to shoot a short film. Where will I use? I told them we had just moved to a new house, so I had not even refurbished my bedroom. I said, that's where we used to shoot it. The cast, they were my friends from film school. I said, come and act for me. I'll give you money for food. I'll give you money for transport. They said, okay. I called my friends. I want to do film. 5K, 20K, 10K. By the time I added everything together, I had 100K. I know that I cannot shoot a film right now, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, before I know it, I was done. I put my film on YouTube. That same film, I used it to apply for a competition, I think, a year later. It was just opportunity that made time, because if I didn't have that film, I wouldn't have been able to apply for that competition. So just start with what you have and you'll see how everything will work out.
Amazing. So just to recap everything that you said, you mentioned that it's good to start from where you are, to also volunteer and be bold, but even while volunteering, even while putting yourself out there, be bold. And you also mentioned being open to mentorship.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Like, bro, we always say this thing, and I always like to emphasize on it. Every time you listen to a Yaka program, whatever program, whether it's a physical event or an online program, we're always talking about mentorship because it's a very, very important tool to have as a young person. But we are going to be moving on to the next question now, which is, funny enough, the last question. So what is your message to every young person out there who's watching this? Your final words, something that you want them to take with them.
Whoosh. So I think I'd like to say that your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. Don't allow anyone tell you your dreams are not valid. It's many times when you want to do something awesome, many times you want to do something amazing, it feels impossible. A lot of the time, it feels impossible. But believing that I want to do this thing, I'd rather believe that this dream is valid and I'd rather do everything I can to make this dream work than not do it at all just because someone, said it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So your dreams are valid. Work very hard. I'm saying very hard because a hardworking person, I feel like they would always get the opportunities faster than a lazy person.
Yeah.
So work very hard. And the third thing I would say is embrace excellence. I like to say excellence is the signature of my life. Embrace excellence. Make it the first and foremost thing that you think about. Sometimes you do some jobs and they may not pay you.
Yeah.
The way you want them to. But make sure that you do that work excellently well. Because excellence is something that if you embrace excellence, it would always give you like great return. People will know you for it. People will respect you for it. And it will even help you set a standard for yourself that you would never drop low from. And I think that's like the best thing that can ever happen to anyone.
Wow, it has been such an insightful session with you. But I know I said that was going to be the last question, but we have a special segment.
Okay.
All right. And so we're going to be playing a short game of 2 questions.
Okay.
And we're going to be using these props. So
Okay.
we have yes or no on the props.
Okay.
So yes, no. So whichever one applies at which time. So this is supposed to be facing outwards.
Okay. So then I just raise it up.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So have you ever given a weird excuse to avoid trouble at home? What was the excuse?
To avoid
You
trouble
got
at home.
into trouble. Maybe you did something.
No,
Never.
no, no, I haven't, because I think we have that wonderful atmosphere at home where you can say anything. Even if you mess up, you can come at home and say, "Mommy, Daddy, I messed up." So
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that must have been great for those of us, now, Africans. All right. So have you ever pretended to be asleep when your parents called you? Did it work?
Yeah, on some occasions, he did.
I feel like that's African Child 101. Thank you so much for indulging us, Jemimah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, guys, we've come to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did, and I hope you learned so much as well. Do not forget, we have more episodes coming up. And so, like this video, comment under it, subscribe, and share this with a friend or two. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.